This is a guide on how to enable parallel sending using Way to Umrah with OWL. So the first thing you need to do is, in your Way to Umrah account, create a new sub-agent or a new username and login. So log into your account, go to System Setting, create New User, and you'll see that I've already created the first 3 workers, and we're going to create a 4th one now. So let's give it a name. We'll give it the username plus the worker and the number. So the username, worker 4. So let's paste the original username into the user ID field. And what we're going to do is, as a pattern, we'll add the worker number at the end of it. So since this is worker 4, we'll give it a 4 at the end. Now it's important to note that the maximum characters with the user ID is 8. So if your original username was 8 characters like this, then you can just delete the last character and put 4 on the end of it. Now we need to put in a password. So let's give it a temporary password, and that will make sense later in the video. So we paste a temporary password in and click create. Now it's created. We have to get granted the correct permissions. So select the user that we've just created, and it will deselect it. So we'll select it again, and we need to click on the group and click grant. So this will give it the correct permissions that we need to be able to submit passengers with this username. So let's try and log in, create a new incognito window that will allow us to log in. Go to Way to Umrah, and let's enter the username that we've just created. So the original username with a 4 on the end of it. And let's put in the temporary password that we used. Not that one, sorry, this one here, the temporary password. Enter the CAPTCHA, and we'll log in. Now what it will ask us to do is to update the password. So let's put in the old password, which was the temporary one. We'll paste that in, and then we'll paste in the real password. Paste here. So now it's asking for email address, and because this is a disposable account, let's create a disposable email address. We'll go to minuteinbox.com, and we'll create a temporary email address. We'll just click delete so that we're 100% sure that it's a new one that will last for 10 minutes. We copy the email address and paste it into the fields here. Click change password. Now it says that we need to activate the account and that it has sent the activation link to the email address that you just provided. So let's go back to minuteinbox.com. We'll click refresh, and you'll see that we've received an activation email. There will be a link, and let's open this link in a new tab. Now that we've clicked on it, the account is actually activated. So let's try and log in. We have the original username with a 4 on the end, and let's use the real password now. Enter the CAPTCHA. Okay, so that let us in. That means that this user is ready to send. So let's go back to HAJonSoft. We'll select one of the groups. We'll use this one here. Select that group, submit for visa, and note that there's 37 passengers in this group. We'll click next. We have to add a new system. So we'll select Way to Umrah. And now, under username, we can actually enter multiple usernames. Oops, sorry, that was the password. Let's enter multiple usernames. So the username 1, username 2, username 3, and username 4. And we just have commas between these 4 usernames. And we can do the same with the password. Password, comma, password, comma, password, comma, password. So this lines up to each other. So the first username, first password, second username, second password, third, fourth. Now let's hit save, select the one that we just created, click next, next again. That has now created our submission. We'll hit finish. And now we're on the submission page, and we know this is the correct login details because we can see the username there, and it's for Way to Umrah. Now all we have to do to enable sending is click Owl. And you'll see here that it actually creates 4 different runs. The first one is sending the first 10 passengers. The next is sending the next 10, the next 10, and the final one is the last 7. So total is 37 passengers. Now it's going to be sending all of these in parallel. That means that it will divide your total send time by 4. And it's worth noting that the first one is actually going to take a couple of minutes to run first because it creates the group in Way to Umrah, and then the next 3 will run after the first one, after a couple of minutes, to make sure that it's adding to the same group. So let's go into here and see what's happening. Yes, so it's logged into Way to Umrah using one of the logins. It has created the group, and it has saved the group ID, which means that any subsequent runs will be saving to that group, and it has started submitting the first passenger. So this will take a while, but rest assured that it will be sending all your passengers in parallel at the same time. So this will really speed up your submission process.